frosty patterns on glass, shimmering ice under the first rays of spring sunshine, delicate snowflakes turned into jewels. What if all the beauty of winter could be captured in crystal and diamonds? In this video, I will take you on a journey through masterpieces that combine the art of jewelry and the inspiration of winter's natural splendor. You will learn the story behind the most unique Fabergé Easter egg, the renowned winter egg, created in 1913 for the Imperial family. We will also explore other winter-themed jewels from Queen Elizabeth II's collection and discover new winter treasures worn by Princess Sofia of Sweden. Prepare to immerse yourself in a world where winter transforms into eternal art. Before we begin, please support my channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. Everyone has heard of Fabergé's famous Easter eggs, but among them, there is one that stands apart for its uniqueness and unparalleled craftsmanship. The winter egg, created in 1913, is a true masterpiece of jewelry, a pinnacle of the Fabergé workshop, and perhaps the most original of all the gifts presented to the Imperial family. This egg not only enchants with its fragile beauty, but also carries deep symbolism, embodying the awakening of nature and the changing of the seasons. The year 1913 was particularly significant for Russia. The nation was preparing to celebrate the 300th anniversary of the Romanov dynasty. That spring, all eyes were on the imperial family, and Emperor Nicholas II, as a devoted son and heir, wished to offer a special Easter gift to his mother, Dowager Empress Maria Feodorovna. Easter, a holiday of great importance in the traditions of the Russian aristocracy, was marked by Fabergé's extraordinary creations, gifts that were far more than mere decorations. Each Easter egg told a story through precious stones and metals. For this special year, Fabergé and his talented team created something truly unique. The inspiration came from nature itself, early spring with its delicate frost patterns on windows and melting snow glistening under the sun's rays. The egg was carved from transparent rock crystal, astonishingly fragile and pure, like a piece of springtime ice. On its surface, more than 1,300 diamonds formed an intricate pattern reminiscent of frosted glass. These diamonds, shimmering in the light, created the effect of living, sparkling frost. Even the egg's base resembled a melting chunk of ice, adorned with streams of platinum and diamonds, as if nature were beginning to wake and breathe life into the world after a long winter. However, as with every Fabergé Easter egg, the real wonder was hidden inside. The egg splits into two clear halves, revealing a delicate surprise within: a miniature basket of snowdrops, crafted from platinum and accented with pink diamonds. The snowdrops, symbolizing spring and renewal, were meticulously carved from white quartz, while their leaves were shaped from jade and green quartz. This tiny composition, both exquisite and flawless, showcased the jeweler's extraordinary precision and painstaking artistry. The creation of the winter egg cost Nicholas II a staggering 24,600 rubles, an enormous sum for the time, yet money was of no consequence when it came to such a gift. Every detail of the egg spoke of his love for his mother and the meticulous attention to detail that Fabergé was renowned for. This was not merely a gift, it was a poem of spring, frozen in crystal and precious stones, and one of the most elegant metaphors for nature, presented as a gesture of respect and affection. The winter egg became a symbol not only of Easter in 1913, but also of an era that was drawing to a close. It remains a lasting testament to the brilliance and grandeur of Imperial Russia, its art, and its boundless faith in beauty. The creator of this jewelry masterpiece, which amazed the world with its perfection, was Alma Pihl, an artist whose name remained forgotten for a long time, despite her outstanding contribution to the art of Fabergé. This talented designer, whose fate is inseparably tied to the jewelry legacy of Imperial Russia, managed to embody not only her artistic vision in the winter egg, but also an endless love for nature, frozen in its frosty patterns and spring blooms. Alma Pihl was born in 1888 in Moscow into a family of hereditary jewelers who had come to Russia from Finland. Her father headed the Moscow branch of the Fabergé workshops, while her grandfather, August Wilhelm Holmström, owned his own workshop in St. Petersburg and became renowned for his works commissioned by the Imperial court. Surrounded from childhood by glittering stones, delicate sketches, and the tools of master jewelers, Alma seemed to absorb this craft. Her destiny was predetermined. She was to become a jeweler. Initially, Alma worked in her uncle Albert Holmström's workshop, where she created design sketches. However, her talent shone so brightly that by 1909, she was given a unique opportunity to become the first female designer at the famed House of Fabergé. At the time, this was an extraordinary precedent. Fabergé's workshops employed only men, and the appearance of a young self-taught artist caused quite a sensation. Alma's moment of triumph came at the turn of the 1910s, when her talent was noticed by the prominent oil magnate Emmanuel Nobel. He commissioned Fabergé to create 40 brooches that were to be both original and elegant. Inspired by nature and her northern studio in St. Petersburg, Alma one day witnessed frost slowly etching patterns onto a window pane. This simple yet magical phenomenon of the Russian winter became the starting point for the snowy designs that would underpin her jewelry masterpieces. For Nobel, Alma created a frosty motif previously unseen in jewelry art: platinum snowflakes encrusted with diamonds, which appeared to be delicate frost crystals frozen onto glass. This became her signature style. Alma was the first to demonstrate the ability to capture nature's fragile beauty and transform it into a precious work of art. Among the pieces designed by Alma Pihl for Nobel, the winter brooch stands out. Its central element is a panel of carefully selected rock crystal, whose internal structure astonishingly mimics the patterns of ice. Over the crystal, delicate lines of rose diamonds were arranged, reminiscent of frost glistening on a window pane. This piece not only showcases the unparalleled mastery of Fabergé's jewelers, but also conveys a profound symbolism: the fusion of transparent crystal, evocative of winter air, with the brilliant sparkle of snow. Remarkably, the brooch has survived not only in its original form, but also as a sketch executed in ink and gouache. This drawing, dated April 11, 1913, miraculously endured and is still preserved in the Holmström Workshop's albums. It offers a rare glimpse into the process of creating the brooch and reveals the meticulous attention to detail in every element of the design. In 1913, when a commission was placed with Carl Fabergé to create a unique Easter egg for Empress Maria Fyodorovna, it was Alma Pihl who was entrusted with its design. Drawing on her frost pattern, inspired by the shimmering snow and melting ice, she created the winter egg. This became the pinnacle of her artistry. Every detail, from the crystal shell to the snowdrops crafted from white quartz, reflected her mastery and unparalleled ability to capture the natural beauty with jeweler's precision. Alma did not merely create an ornament, she produced art that transcends time. However, her brilliant career came to an abrupt end with the fall of Imperial Russia. After the 1917 revolution, the House of Fabergé was closed, and many of its craftsmen were forced to seek new lives beyond the borders of their homeland. In 1921, Alma Pihl emigrated to Finland with her husband. There, she worked as an art teacher, leaving behind her former life filled with splendor and jewels. Alma Pihl's name remained forgotten for decades. It was only through the serendipitous discovery of her sketch albums years later that the world was reminded of her remarkable talent. These drawings revealed her ingenious contributions to the art of jewelry: snowflakes, frost patterns, and sparkling drops of ice that are now recognized as symbols of the elegance and virtuosity of the Fabergé era. The winter egg, having survived tumultuous times and preserved its beauty, stands as the most radiant monument to her talent. The fate of the winter egg after the revolution proved to be as dramatic as the history of Imperial Russia itself. Like many other treasures of the Romanov dynasty, this precious work of art did not escape confiscation. After the 1917 revolution, when the imperial family was overthrown, the Fabergé collection belonging to the Romanovs was seized by the Bolsheviks and transferred to storage vaults. These masterpieces, once symbols of czarist grandeur, were declared bourgeois excesses and gradually sold off to replenish the treasury of the young Soviet Republic. In 1927, the winter egg left Russia. It was sold for £500 to the English antique dealer and jeweler Emanuel Snowman. The transaction carried a symbolic irony. The surname of its new owner, Snowman, perfectly matched the frosty masterpiece he acquired. For Snowman, it was just one among many purchases from the Russian Imperial treasures, but the winter egg would become one of the most unique pieces in his collection. In 1949, the egg changed hands again. It was purchased by British collector Brian Ledbrook, a man with a deep passion for jewelry and fine art. However, following his death in 1975, the trail of this masterpiece was lost. For years, the winter egg was believed to be missing, and its disappearance became one of the greatest mysteries in the world of antique treasures. As it turned out, the egg had been safely stored in a vault at a London bank, where it spent nearly 2 decades in silence and obscurity. A true sensation occurred in 1994, when the winter egg was unexpectedly rediscovered and put up for auction at Christie's in Geneva. News of its discovery stunned collectors and art enthusiasts across the globe. Representatives of major collections and museums, connoisseurs of fine jewelry, and admirers of Fabergé masterpieces flocked to the auction. When the egg was brought into the room, the audience stood in a moment of profound respect for the brilliance of the craftsman who created it and the era it so vividly symbolized. The bidding was intense and charged with excitement. In the end, the lot was sold for $5.5 million, a record sum for Fabergé pieces at the time. Many believed this would be the final chapter in the story of the winter egg, but fate had yet another surprise in store. In 2002, the winter egg reappeared at auction. This time, the buyer was Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar, renowned for his passion for collecting world-class works of art. For the masterpiece created by Alma Pihl and the House of Fabergé, the Emir paid an astounding $9.6 million. Today, the winter egg remains a jewel in his celebrated collection, serving as a timeless reminder of the brilliance and elegance of early 20th century jewelry craftsmanship. When speaking of winter-themed jewelry, another masterpiece comes to mind, the Sapphire Jubilee Snowflake brooch, owned by Queen Elizabeth II. This brooch, with its icy brilliance of diamonds and delicate blue sapphires, perfectly embodies the essence of winter aesthetics. In 2017, Queen Elizabeth II celebrated her Sapphire Jubilee, marking an extraordinary 65 years of reign. To commemorate this milestone, Canada, one of the countries where Elizabeth II serves as monarch, decided to present her with a special gift. The Governor-General of Canada, David Johnston, officially presented the Queen with the diamond and sapphire snowflake brooch during a ceremony in London. This brooch is a true symbol of winter beauty, masterfully crafted by the Canadian jeweler Hilberg and Burke. The design draws inspiration from a snowflake, a fitting emblem of the cold winters of Canada's north. At the center and along the branches of the brooch sparkle soft blue sapphires, mined in 2002 on Baffin Island by 2 brothers, Samiga and Nodluk Akpik. These sapphires are not only exquisite adornments, but also carry a deep connection to Canada's history, showcasing the country's natural treasures. The diamonds create the illusion of frost-like glimmer, while the blue sapphires evoke the icy tones of the Arctic, making the piece a symbol of both Canada's landscapes and its northern winters. Furthermore, the brooch highlights the refined artistry of modern Canadian jewelers, capable of crafting something so elegant and intricate. Interestingly, the snowflake brooch was conceived as a companion to another of the Queen's famous brooches, the diamond maple leaf brooch, long associated with her visits to Canada. During the celebration of Canada's 150th Confederation anniversary in London, the Governor-General presented this new gift to the Queen. On that day, Queen Elizabeth II wore the maple leaf brooch, symbolically linking the 2 jewels, old and new, in tribute to Canada's history and its relationship with the monarchy. The public first glimpsed the Sapphire Jubilee Snowflake brooch in July 2018, during an audience at Windsor Castle with King Philippe and Queen Mathilde of Belgium. On that occasion, the Queen chose a bright, floral-patterned dress. Though its vivid hues slightly outshone the brooch's delicate sparkle, the exquisite design still captured attention. Another winter-themed brooch made a stunning appearance recently on Princess Sofia of Sweden during the Nobel Ceremony on December 10, 2024. This exquisite piece, custom-made by LWL Jewelry, captivated with its elegance and perfect reflection of a winter motif. The brooch is crafted in the shape of a snowflake, with each petal-like branch generously encrusted with diamonds, creating the illusion of frosty brilliance. At the center of the composition sparkles a large London blue topaz, whose hue evokes the cold winter sky and crystal-clear ice. This gemstone was carefully selected by the jewelers to complement the blue topazes in the tiara Princess Sofia donned for the ceremony. The brooch draws inspiration from the palmette design, which is also featured in Sofia's tiara. This piece became a seamless extension of her ensemble, carefully curated with great attention to detail. The harmonious pairing of the jewelry allowed the princess to appear flawless, while the diamonds and topazes added a touch of frosty freshness and grace to her look. Princess Sofia paired the brooch with an elegant evening gown in royal blue, designed by Soren Le Schmidt. The gown's deep blue hue perfectly matched the London blue topazes in both her tiara and brooch, creating a cohesive and refined appearance. Now, I'm curious to know, do you have any jewelry in your collection that could be described as winter-themed? Perhaps a snowflake-shaped brooch, earrings with blue topazes, or a ring that evokes the look of icy frost? Be sure to share in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. There are many more fascinating stories about royal jewels and their secrets ahead. Thank you for watching.